Hello students, welcome back to Miami, and you're watching Miami Television News. I hope everyone has had a great start to their semester. I'm Taylor Douglas.
And I'm Nathan Hengstebeck. Our top story today, the Miami regional campuses are in a process to gain some independence from the Oxford campus. Talks of the process began in 2008 when the Board of Trustees suggested that the Hamilton and Middletown campuses start offering bachelor degrees instead of using these regional campuses as a stepping stone towards the Oxford campus. This will leave the associate degree programs mainly towards community colleges, and it would allow the regional campuses to focus on degrees not offered in Oxford, such as nursing, justice, communication studies, and engineering technology.
Miami is taking extra precautions to nurture Oxford's furry friends, starting with the drunk skunk. The People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, are commonly known as PETA, sent the university this poster after an Oxford skunk got its head stuck in a beer can. President Hodge received these posters with open arms and is now launching an initiative to encourage students to crush their cans, in efforts to not having a repeated incident. PETA showed their appreciation by sending vegan cookies.
The two largest media corporations in the U.S. are teaming up. Time Warner and Comcast are in the middle of a $45 billion merger. This union will take the two companies far into the lead in both broadband and pay TV market shares over any other provider. Their new slogan is "Together is better," but there is resistance from skeptical customers who think their prices will rise. The proposal is still in review by the FCC.
A rising trend of drug abuse is sweeping through Southwest Ohio, and Oxford has been no exception to this problem. MTN reporter Katie Espeleta explains how the community plans to react.
A local nonprofit health agency wants to expand to address the rising problem of heroin abuse in Butler County. Sojourner Recovery Center is a behavioral health company that treats addiction and mental health issues. The center says 89% of its current patients have a heroin addiction, a number that has doubled in the last 5 years. President and CEO Scott Gehring says it's time to combat this problem.
We are looking to expand, and there's a good reason for that. It's not because we're looking to grow into communities, we're looking to go to where the need is.
Sojourner's now looking for space in Oxford, Middletown, and Westchester, with Oxford being its main priority.
But nothing has really gripped the community like heroin has. And Oxford right now has a really ingrained, embedded opiate and heroin addiction problem.
Miami student and Oxford resident Rachel Maddox says that bringing Sojourner to Oxford will be beneficial to the community.
If there is a problem, even if it's a small one, it would be better, I guess, to have a facility here instead of, you know, there's like the stigma of going down to Hamilton to get help.
I spoke with Patrol Sergeant John Varley with the Oxford Police Department, who's excited for the expansion and says that this will be the first rehab facility focusing on the Oxford community and not just the students.
The student community one is geared towards students, not so much as community members, and we have other residents and community members that may not have access to the student health center, and that could benefit them.
Farley says the drug problem in Oxford has been increasing recently, and the police department has already seen 6 overdoses this year, and it's time for some help.
Being in Oxford, we're kind of out here on our own. There's no easy way to get to Hamilton or Middletown that already have some established centers.
Sojourners looking for spaces around Oxford, but nothing is finalized. This is Katie Espeleta reporting for MUTV.
Miami is cracking down on admissions for upcoming classes. Miami University's applicant group has grown 12.8% this year from 2013. Since the applicant pool is increasing and there is a strict maximum of 3,600 students per class, the admissions process has become a bit more selective when choosing students. The ACT average has climbed to a 27.7, almost 2 points up from 2009. Future applicants should expect raised requirements as Miami tries to honor their class cap.
U.S. warplanes bombed the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, otherwise known as ISIS, on September 24th. ISIS is an insurgent group that has been sweeping through the Middle East, taking territory since June. The strikes were aimed at almost a dozen ISIS locations. The locations included oil refineries that provided funds for the Islamic State government. President Obama said that although the administration aims to destroy ISIS, he believes that this conflict could last years.
This fall marked a major anniversary for civil rights movement held on Miami's campus 50 years ago. Miami Television News reporter Rachel Tracy traveled through Western Campus to find out more.
This is Rachel Tracy reporting on the 50th anniversary of Freedom Summer at the Freedom Summer Memorial Stairs on Western Campus. Today we are interviewing Jacqueline Johnson, who is the organizer of the entire 50th anniversary of Freedom Summer. Freedom Summer may be more important to college students than they think.
In 1964, a person might have went on the street corner and they might have held up a placard, they might have marched. Well, you know what? That can make a difference. But the new generation of students can make differences and protests through social media.
In 1964, African Americans and white college students gathered on Western Campus to go to Mississippi to encourage African Americans to register to vote.
In 1964, a person might have went on the street corner and they might have held up a placard, they might have marched. Well, you know what? That can make a difference. But the new generation of students can make differences and protests through social media.
Getting involved in the community and around campus starts with a passion.
Some people say, well, these veterans, 64 is not really what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about 2014. Yeah, but some of the things that happen with voting rights, think about what's going on now with voting. It's the same struggle.
The Freedom Summer Conference and Reunion is taking place at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center from October 11th through the 14th.
So the Miami student may say, well, Jackie, I don't really have anything in my community that I'm passionate about. Well, you know what? If you come to this conference and you meet people who have given their lives for other people, and if you meet people who are still working today in civil rights and social justice, you may come and find a cause that you're passionate about.
Reporting, Rachel Tracy, Oxford, Miami Television News.
45 East Bar and Grill is knocking on your door. The popular restaurant Uptown has added a delivery service that will bring your favorite foods to your door. The delivery services will be from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Monday through Thursday. You can just call the restaurant at 513-523-3737.
Miami Television News has a segment to bring you a taste of Miami students with talent.
This week we have Miami student Aaron Fitzgerald and Miami graduate Mandy Wolf with a duet. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Mandy and this is Aaron, and we will be singing Sloom by Of Monsters and Men.
The sea said goodbye to the shore, so the sun wouldn't notice. The seaweed that wrapped its arms around you. The carpet on my cheek, it feels like a fall grass, and I run through the tall trees with your hand chasing me. The books that I keep by my bed are full of your stories that I drew up from a little dream of mine, a little nightmare of yours. To be asked to take this plunge, to forgive and forget, to be a better man, to be a better man, to be a better man. So love me, Mother, and love me, Father, and love my sister as well. So love me, Mother, and love me, Father, and love my brother as well. The cat silhouette as big as a monster in this concrete jungle with streetlights hanging their heads. So make all your last demands, for I will forsake you, and I'll meet your eyes for the very first time, for the very last. So love me, and he smiled back at me. Now there are thoughts like these that keep me on my feet, that keep me on my feet.
United Nations Goodwill Ambassador Emma Watson gave a powerful speech on gender equality at the UN on September 20th. In efforts to support her new initiative, He for She, Watson identifies herself as a feminist and says the adjective is often synonymous with man-hating. Watson says feminism is the thought that men and women should be equal, and addressed the men in her audience to explain how gender inequality affects both men and women. Watson ended her speech with the powerful quote, "If not me, who? And if not now, when?"
Students came back to school with 4 new buildings that sprung up behind Batchelor Hall. MTN reporter Matthew Klein went around campus to find out the word on the street.
With 3 new dorms, a bridge, a lake, and gluten-free options at the Western Dining Hall, Western Campus is continuing to grow. We are here today to ask students how they feel about the renovations made over this summer.
I think they're really good. From what I've heard from some upperclassmen is that the field over here used to be a swamp, so getting to the presser is a lot easier now that it's like cleaned up and it's a lot prettier.
I mean, they've done a great job with them, though the one problem is they are a bit expensive and they're like just little technical glitches that ruin everyone's day from here to there. So beyond that though, they're real nice.
I think they're pretty cool. Like, it's nice having air conditioning for once. I lived in Wells last year, and the lake's really cool. I think that's really awesome. It's really pretty and everything.
Oh, I like them. I think they're nice. Nice new buildings. I think they're doing a great landscaping job. It's nice to live over here.
So, from what we've seen today, it seems that Miami students overwhelmingly approve of the new renovations done over the summer to Western Campus. In my personal opinion, I think this adds to the touching beauty that is Miami University. This is Matthew Klein, Miami Television News.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the new buildings. I walked past it the other day on my way to class over on Western, and I didn't even know I was still at Miami.
It's
the
bizarre.
buildings are just, it almost looks like a hotel complex.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even feel bad for the people that have to live on Western anymore.
I heard the food was great too. So.
Oh yeah, just brand new dining hall over there, and
everything.
They've got a reflecting pool to reflect and study, I guess. So
exactly.
That's good for them. The Oxford Lane Library will be relocating to South Locust Street across from Kroger some 40 years after opening its doors on College Avenue. The 2-year process started with the need to expand the Smith History Library, a special collection inside Lane. The new building will have a reading garden, study rooms, and a community meeting room. It will also upgrade its technology by doubling the amount of public computers, adding an iPad kiosk, and a laptop cart. Oxford branch manager Rebecca Smith says the Oxford community had a chance to voice their opinions on what could stay and what couldn't in the final building. The projected move-in date for the new Oxford Library is fall of 2015.
As always, thanks for tuning in to Miami Television News.
Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Miami TV News. I'm Nate Hengstebeck.
And I'm Taylor Douglas. Have a great week.